So the first thing you want to do is take off this spring. This spring is what keeps the hammer tensioned. This is what makes it pop when you release the trigger or when you release the hammer release. Okay, so it is kept in place by this pin right here. Your design might be different. I have seen ones that you need to pull, that you need to push up and then pull outwards. But for mine, it is push this pin out and then pull this spring outwards. Okay, so take your hole punch or take a thin tool or whatever and punch it out. And you want to make sure, most guns have their pins, they usually have teeth. For mine, it's on this side. So the teeth is used to keep the pegs in place and not let it fall out for friction purposes. When you disassemble it, you want to make sure you push from the place where it has no teeth so that it pops out from the place that has teeth. If you push it in the opposite direction, the teeth part will go through the no teeth part and it will harm the frame itself. So both ways are possible, but if you go through it the wrong way, it's going to hurt your gun frame and it will not be as tight. Okay, so take your hole punch and punch it out. And just like so, it comes out. And put it to the side. It's a very small part, so you want to be careful. And this spring is under a lot of tension, so you want to make sure you hold it tight, pull it outwards, and then release it. Okay? And this thing just falls out very easily. Now the way you put it back is kind of fiddly, but during the reassembly I will teach you guys how to do so. Now, flip it back to the other side, and we will push out this pin right here with your hole punch. Push it out. It extrudes this part, and pull it out like that. And the next thing keeping it in place is this pin right here. So for this pin, you want to push from this side out this side. Most guns are the same. Push in from the right side out through the left side. And this is when you're looking down the barrel, okay? So take your hole punch once again. Placement, and then. And for this, you might want to take some pliers to pull it upwards. Okay, like that. And then put it to the side. Okay, after that, you should be able to take your hammer assembly up and out, like that. So this is our hammer assembly, and then we can put that to the side. Now I'll teach you guys how to disassemble this bad boy right here. Okay, after taking the hammer assembly off, first of all you want to take this piece off. The way you want to do it, keep a finger on the top of it, because there's a spring inside, and this finger will keep it from flying off to somewhere that you don't know. And the next step would be to pull on this tab here to pull it upwards towards yourself and outwards, like this. And you see the spring inside? Make sure you keep that like so. Now put this spring to the side and put this piece to the side, and we'll continue the disassembly. So, right now we can take a look at the entire workings of the hammer. So you can see this thing is what locks the hammer in place. And when you pull it forward, this piece, when you pull it forward, the hammer is disconnected. When you release it, when you pull it back, the hammer locks back. Like so. Okay? So usually you won't have to disassemble the hammer under any circumstances unless you want to upgrade or repair these parts. So you unscrew these two screws, and this cover plate will come off. Okay, after unscrewing the screws, you want to pull this up and out very carefully. And this spring, you want to take good care of it because it might pop out. So you want to take a plier or your hands if they're nimble enough and pull it upwards. This is what is keeping the power on the hammer lock. Now after you take that spring up, you will notice the hammer lock now has no tension and will not automatically lock your hammer back when it is cocked. Okay, now after you take off the hammer lock spring, you can take the hammer lock up and out. This is what the hammer lock looks like. Back to the hammer assembly, you can take the hammer up and out, put it to the side. Okay, so this is the firing pin for the airsoft pistols. you can see this spring here, this tiny spring here. What it does is it keeps the airsoft firing pin on the downward position and prevents it from coming upwards like this. Okay, now what you want to do, if you want to take it off, all you want to do is make sure this spring, remove it first would be a better idea. Take it out. Take it out of there. Make sure it doesn't fly away. Pull this up like that. Put it to the side, and then you can take that spring inside out like so. So that is the entire hammer assembly disassembled, and you can put that to the side. This is cover plate A and cover plate B.